Hello everyone. So there was a question on my support channel. So yes, I do have a support channel. If you go to ravisaga.in/support, you can raise a ticket for me, and you can actually expect a reply from me. I try to reply to everyone, but it is of course not always possible, and I, of course, I'm not really able to reply to each one of them quickly, but I'm trying. But from time to time, whenever I can, I do reply, and along with the reply, if I think that particular topic is interesting, I also make a video. So that is what I'm doing today. I am making a video on audit log in Jira. So if you are an experienced Jira administrator, especially on data center and server version of Jira, then I'm sure you know about audit log. And the question was that so the question was from someone who was trying to search in the audit log. So first of all, there is an audit log in Jira, especially on data center and server version, where you can track. And this audit log is not really the log of Jira, because in Jira log you have each and everything. Like whenever there is something happening in Jira, there is a log. There is an entry in the log. Of course, it depends on the level, on what logging level you have set. But the audit log will tell you about basically any configurations that you, or basically when I say you, your administrators are doing. It will be logged there, right? And this is important because you need to know you need to know who modified the workflow, who added the user, who created a permission scheme, who modified let us say the project roles, basically whatever. I mean, I'm talking about the configurations, and this is important because for auditing, because maybe for compliance reasons, you need to track these changes. Now, if you want to know more about it, you can just do a Google search. You can see this page, for example, where you can see the difference between audit log on server and data center version. So if you're just using, I mean, on data center version, you have basically this option to change the coverage, which I will show you very quickly. And the question was actually how to search the log for a specific thing or for a specific event from a specific Jira administrator. So if you go back to your Jira instance, so this is my Jira instance. I'm running a local one where I have this audit log. So you can go to your Jira administration and then system, and then of course you can take a look at this audit log. So you can see here we can see different events, like someone executed a script, someone did different things like enabled the app, or someone, in this case of course it is only admin because it is my test instance. But you basically have a lot of information here. Now it is of course good, and you can definitely perform some searches. For example, if I want to know who added, let us say we want to search for a test user, right? Let us say we have something in the log where we want to search for something. So this search in a way works, but it might not be the fastest search because it is doing search in this list, and this can be a huge list, and it might not always be, I mean, of course you have the list with you and you can of course search, but it might not always work the way you expect it to work. It might not actually let you search each and everything, because it is basically relying on some keywords, I guess, which in a way is not bad, but there is a better way of doing it. And before I talk about a better way, let me take a look at the settings. So if you go to settings, you can see here the audit log database retention period, which is 20 years, which is definitely a lot. Of course, you need to make sure that your database can hold this much data. And at the same time, this is the coverage. So if you're using, let us say, Jira Server version, the coverage is usually base. But if you are on data center version, you can actually see that you will get some advanced options. So basically you can turn it off. Maybe you don't really want your global configuration. I mean, this is something that you really want, right? User management, maybe you want to turn it off. I don't know, up to you. Permissions, definitely. Local configurations, yes. Why not? Security and user activity. So end user activity is definitely not massively important because it is their responsibility. But The main thing is that you can also export it, and that is what I wanted to talk about. So if you want, you can actually click on the button on top called export, and you can then export it to maybe it will actually generate a CSV file for you, which is great because it will keep a list of the last 100,000 events based on what you have configured in your coverage, right? Which is, of course, because you would use this audit log for cases where something needs to be, maybe you need to troubleshoot something, right? And you need to figure out who did that change or who removed that particular status, whatever. So this is great because when you export it to CSV, it will actually give you a CSV file where you can perform search using different tools. And depending upon your experience level with different text-based files on Linux-based systems, I'm sure you can open it in Notepad++. Maybe it will definitely work, but I'm not really sure about Notepad++ can open 100,000 entries easily. It is quite powerful, but there are a lot of tools available. But if you have access to any, usually you would run Jira on a server, right? Or maybe you are using Linux, you have access to a server. Use things like maybe, there are a lot of ways of doing it. You can actually search in a text file. So this particular CSV is something that I can open very easily in any editor, or I can just search using Linux-based utilities. So, for example, if you want to search for the same test user, so you can do it instantly. That is what I prefer. I can actually now, because it is CSV file, it is already organized. So you can also use other Linux-based utilities to fetch these lines where you have this user, and then you can dump it somewhere else. So because it is CSV, it is already organized, and if you're using Linux, it will actually help you in troubleshooting, because when you're doing the same thing on this particular list, you can search, it will give you the output if it works quickly. If not, then of course you can wait. But when you have the output in front of you, you can't really do, you have to look at it one by one, and you need to, of course, rely on this thing. Maybe you want to see the IP address or browser. Or basically, you might need to further narrow it down. You might need to further do some analysis or dump it somewhere else. So when you have something like this in your CSV file, use your own tools. And I thought I'll probably share it with you because it will save time. And learn these things. I think if you're a Jira administrator, then you should definitely know Linux well. You should have some system admin experience because it will give you a lot of power, and you would be able to use these utilities and tools. All right, that is it. Bye bye.